Up next, last but not least, Victor Davis, Yccentric Outcasts.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? So, again, my name's Victor Davidson, and I'm here representing Yo Eyewear, where we make it better. Eyewear from wood, all wood, by hand. So, to introduce it, it's a new concept I've been working with, and I'm really excited about the direction I've been able to get it to go. But this is just one of many things that will kind of come out of this. So, again, I'll introduce Yo Eyewear. So, to give a little background of like eyewear in the industry, right? And where wood kind of falls in with everything. So the major things or sales for like eyewear right now is optical boutiques and actual online shopping, right? And online sales has been like a new thing that's been happening where people are buying eyeglasses online, but they're running across a lot of problems with the way they fit, the way they're getting adjusted, and even if the prescription may be right. And all of these are big problems when you're talking about someone's vision. A lot of people typically find that their frames just slide down their face and they're having to adjust them like that, or they're just crooked, right? So frames should always fit, right? And where wood falls into all of this is that people are having a hard time adjusting wooden frames, right? Like literally they haven't been made adjustable to this point, right? And out of like the entire world and the entire industry of eyewear professionals, there are 50 designers and brands that are doing eyewear. And that's something with eyeglasses. That doesn't mean that they're doing full eyeglasses out of wood, but it just means they're putting elements of wood on their frames. So 5 out of 50 designers use all wood to the hinge. 10 out of 50 use and make actual prescription frames. So the other difference is some frames are not like RXable, they're only for sunglasses. And 40 out of the 50 stick to sunglasses. So 0 out of 50 frames are wooden and fully adjustable, except ours. And this is where I go into the concept. So by combining cradle-to-cradle design, grass and wood, biopolymers, and wood gas energy, along with global responsibility, Yo makes 100% biodegradable, fully adjustable wooden eyewear. We make these frames stylish as we can, and we just do our best, you know? So this is going more into like the production and the whole distribution side of things. So like you see here, this tree leads over to the actual machining, right? Because with wood gas, you can power the equipment that actually goes into the production of frames. So we're gonna make it to where you can go online and buy our frames straight from us and use our like try-on programs and such like that. And we're also gonna allow it to where you can buy boutiques. Now I've been working the past year in traveling sales for an independent eyewear company out of Jersey. And I've been managing the entire Southeast, all of the boutiques, all of the doctor's offices, going there and making sales for this other company. So I'm really confident in the response that I'll have with the boutique owners. They've seen my frames, they like it, but they're just wondering when I can get it to production and when I can get them in their hands. So I'm gonna be manufacturing these frames right here in Charlotte. And that's kind of what I'm gonna use the prize money towards doing, is getting like a lot of the equipment I need to go into manufacture and getting things online in terms of the website, the e-commerce stuff. Some of these things cost like $15,000, $20,000 just to get started. We're also going to be packaging our frames up with a biodegradable box and packaging using mushrooms. It's a really nifty way. But also for anything we can't account for in terms of our own production, we're going to offset using like carbon CO2 offsetting principles. So we don't do the actual distribution and trucking. So since that, we're going to do other initiatives where we like give back to the earth in a way that's like beneficial to offset our like destruction in a way. So we have a new introduction thing that we're doing where frames and good deeds give you a lifetime warranty. And so this is actually an old client of mine. And the way we're trying to do this is like if you buy one of our frames, we're gonna show you some of our partners in your area where you can like go get a tree from them. If you show us the receipt of that tree and take some photos with you planting the tree, we'll give you a lifetime guarantee on all of our frames. And that means like if your frames break or anything, we'll go ahead and send you another pair just for free. And we're doing this to kind of incentivize people to become more social themselves, to become more globally responsible for the things that are going on in our world. And I've been wanting to move way away from like, you know, some of the financial models on this, but I think it'll be really clever in terms of social media and making it to where we start like rewarding people for being responsible people in this world. And so this is kind of going into the financials, but so with the 40-hour bootstrap and work week, right, where I literally make these frames by hand or machine, I can actually get out about 4 frames a week by hand. That's 10 hours a frame, And cost of the frame to make in materials is about $2, right? But in terms of man hours, like if I'm just paying myself $15 an hour, it ends up being $150 for the actual production of a frame, which is pretty ridiculous in terms of sales, right? If I can actually get up to where I got CNC and all of the production equipment in line, I can make 16 frames a week, and this is a really conservative estimate, but 16 frames a week, and get my pricing up. So to walk over here and show you the graph, in 6 months, the red is the by hand method, and the green is with the machines. So in 6 months, I make $4,000 bootstrapping it by hand. But with the like prize money, I could use it to get the machines and get up to 134 potential sales by hand, right? This is not from a top-down estimate. This is actually in my production means. And so if you sell to a boutique, typically you're doing a minimum order, opening order of 15 frames. And if you sell online, it's going to be ridiculous. And I just have to be able to keep up with the demand that's going to be there. So what I'm looking at, my price for being online is $500. My MSRP for the actual boutiques is going to be $450. And the reason I'm pricing it differently is because I don't want to compete with the frames that I have in shop, right? I want to be able to send them frames and have them actually be looked at as some beneficiary to the consumers that they're getting a deal from them. And then I'll wholesale price to the boutiques at $150, typically, which is like 3 times the markup of frames. So this is how I plan on working with Yo and how we're going to move forward. Again, thank you. My name is Victor Davidson, and this is Yo Eyewear, where we make it better.
Victor, extremely interesting product.
Thank you.
The price of $500, where does that fit in with other frames out there in the market, high end, I'm assuming?
All right, so high-end eyewear typically starts around $350 and up. And when I say up, frames out of Austria that are comparable to mine, all wood including the hinges, are going for $1,200 retail, right? They're selling, I've seen in the Southeast them at least 2 boutiques that I've seen them at. And I can only imagine when they're in cities that are a little more expressive, how much demand they have on the frames, right? But so for other wooden eyewear, it's lower end, maybe like around $100, but it's strictly sunglasses. So the difference is more of a high quality product, and then the other difference is that they're RXable.
The way if you're manually doing it, you're doing, say, a pair a day. There's no doubt you have to have a sustainable company. You're going to have to get into the automated manufacturing
Right.
as soon as possible. But I'm not really sure about what you said, the overall cost for you to actually buy the equipment you're going to need to be able to manufacture this on a regular basis to sustain your company.
So this is a beautiful way to segue about myself, right? So I'm actually got a degree in mechanical engineering and another in biology, and I'm like very well trained in terms of materials and manufacturing production lines. So I actually just plan on going through Alibaba, getting a CNC machine, and doing all my batches from there, kind of doing vacuum molding techniques and everything in-house. So it's definitely possible for me to do. I've been kind of working on it the past 2 years, and it's really just a matter of capital and being able to buy the equipment necessarily to make it.
What is the cost of the equipment do you think it'll be that you're
So
going to need?
a real cheap CNC, maybe like $4,000 to $5,000, right? But in terms of like online stuff and bringing in people who can like collaborate on the team, but actually be very skilled at what they do, I'll need to be able to compensate them some too.
Is there any strategic partner you can get, like yesterday, to help you out, so you can move this immediately? Because I'm still concerned about the numbers you can produce.
Okay, right. So there are people who I'm pulling in. I don't know if there are any direct people who are willing to contribute. I would ask everybody to contribute. We're always open to donations kind of deal. But at the level of people who I can bring on, I have one guy who's offered to be an angel investor, but he really wants to chop it up and see what this thing really looks like. And I still have to be able to show that I'm gonna like push through the fire for this to happen. But it's definitely possible. Yeah.
So with one machine, how many suppliers could you fulfill? You said it's a minimum 15 pairs to get in the door
Right.
with a boutique.
So if we're talking a boutique, let's say like Charlotte, right? The size of Charlotte has one high-end optical boutique, maybe 2 or 3 other independent boutiques, and the rest are like doctor's offices, general practices, and like chain stores, right? So for this one in Charlotte, I could definitely produce the frames. It takes me, like I said, 4 weeks. I can do 4 frames in a day, and if I were to do that by hand, it would mean I could get like 16 in a month. So it would take me about one month to fulfill an order, and that's really like crude numbers on that, not like including daily stuff, but in terms of getting in that shop, I could do that, right? And those frames would last anywhere from 6 to 7 months if they had moderate sales.
And how many boutiques would you like to serve on
I mean,
one machine?
so let's say out of the entire Southeast, just to start, right? The entire Southeast has maybe 20 to 30 high-end boutiques that I'd be willing to put my product in, right? And it's just a matter of scaling from there. It's all at my pace. But I really want to get things going for like the trade shows coming up. So there's one coming up in Vegas that I want to kind of be able to premiere the show on, and that's coming around in September. So with all the work I've done up until this point, the designs are finalized and kind of done. It's just a matter of like putting all the pieces together,
So Victor, you've sold a few of these already?
Yeah, I've actually sold about 14 frames since I've started this. So 14 frames in a year.
In a year? What kind of feedback are you getting from your customers?
So they're having a lot of problems with getting too much attention, right? And so this is literally at the level of people are stopping them, being like, "What are you wearing? What is it? Like, where'd you get it?" Like, And the story that they get to tell is something that I think they really appreciate. So I find more often that my customers tend to like the idea that they're contributing to the world in a way, besides recycling, right? Because everybody wants to do good. I don't believe anybody inherently wants to do bad things, right? But in terms of pushing through and having something that they can do, it's simple, right? A simple sign on, you get to contribute in a way and really make a change in the world that you'll be able to see and measure.
Gotcha. So I'm assuming that you have on a pair right now?
Yes, that's correct. And it would behoove you to think I would carry some frames with me to show you all, just so you can kind of get a taste for it, So these are some frame designs I've played around with, and so it's not broken. These are demos. They're not fully ready, right? Oh yeah. It'd be fine. Yeah. Sorry for that coming apart.
So there aren't any other competitors out there doing this?
So I would say it like this. There are 5 designers doing all wood. That means all wood, including the hinges. So 2 of those designers are very like in shop. They're doing it out of their house, similar to what I've been doing. And I don't expect that they'll be like trying to build the business up. So 3 of them that are left. So 1 is out of Austria. They don't have really good product placement here, and their price point wholesale is $380, right? Those are the ones selling for retail about $1,200. And so I don't think they're going to be spreading that fast and like wildfire. And then the next one is out of Germany, and he's making them out of his garage. I don't know his price points, but I haven't seen any here in the US. So there's not much here in boutiques, and it's definitely not a product that's very knowledgeable to a lot of consumers. So there's a huge market for me to jump in.
Very good.
Thank you.